Everybody, it's a Man Master here. I'm deciding to do a third video. I've been thinking about this for a long time, and this is going to kind of be a very controversial, very edgy video. So we'll see if it passes YouTube's muster or not. But I've studied Scientology for a long time, and I'm not a Scientologist. I just think it's fascinating. Both the bad and the good are fascinating to me. So, and a lot of what I've seen is, and this might sound a little controversial, but as far as what their tactics are and stuff, I think politics, especially with regards to like what a lot of people are trying to do now, like some of these mandates and stuff, I think Scientology can serve as a model for how to fight back, because, and both from the anti and the pro Scientologists. I don't know if I'm gonna get harassed by that for this video. Hopefully not. But this is what I mean. So they had Operation Snow. Nobody watches. I mean, I'm not saying nobody watches my videos, but I don't think it's gonna get enough views to really get a lot of pushback or anything. Maybe I'll post this to a different platform too. I don't know yet. But if I get like a Rumble going or something like that. Anyways, they had this thing called Operation Snow White, where basically why they don't pay tax revenue now to the IRS is because they harassed, blackmailed, and just basically like infiltrated the IRS for a few years in the 70s. And that kind of, they did it in such a way that they, the IRS decided to change the laws about Scientology. And you can see the same. So I was thinking the same, because there are a lot of people on the left that are against a lot of the mandates and stuff now. And some of them, according to like Max Blumenthal, don't want to come forward because they're scared of censorship and, being ostracized. But I think like a lot of things with Scientology, like with these former Scientologists, were scared to come forward. And, once they started coming forward, attacking the church, then it became, more of a tsunami of people, coming forward, and the church lost a lot of its, its veneer and its power and prominence as well. So this can happen with the whole narratives, all the narratives we're going through right now. I think, for example, I don't believe in blackmail or anything like that, but I think there could be massive like civil disobedience. Like if there is like a mandate for restaurants, get a bunch of people and like 20 or 30 people to flood the doors of a restaurant and try to get in, and maybe make some kind of like the pranksters in the 60s and stuff, like not the merry pranksters, but just like a lot of these like the yippies and stuff that had a lot of these, like they would pull pranks like on the Pentagon and did all these like protests and stuff. Like you could like just like have this like a card with a smiley face on it. This is my VA XX card, just like have a flood of people doing that or something, like at a restaurant in Chicago or restaurants, just pulling these pranks and stuff, and just like going into, I mean, there's already been a group of people going into like stores and stuff without masks and stuff, but it's like, you got to have a massive like quake of people that are opposed to this stuff and just like really threaten the status quo in this situation. There's a lot of tactics, both from not only from Scientology, but from, like infiltrating organizations and stuff. Like, hey, I mean, apply, like someone could be like a sleeper agent for, a sleeper agent, and they could apply for some public health job that like they're opposed to mandates, and they come in there and like, no, there's like, and a lot of stuff could happen like that. And, just various things like that. They should like adopt these types of things to do. And not only that, like I know that New York, the mayor was protested by hundreds of people outside of his apartment or whatever mansion. Was it a mansion? I don't think it's a mansion, but it's like an apartment. A lot of people don't live in mansions out there; they live in apartments or condos. But so I just think like a lot massive civil disobedience can be basically a way to really push forward these ideas as far as getting, massive resistance towards these mandates and the possible slippery slope of what they're really going for with this, which, I'm mixed on whether or not that's really the intent or not. I mean, time will tell. Like I said, the new Transformers variant, new Decepticon variant is kind of shattering a lot of those narratives as we speak. However, if this is pushed forward, especially if it is more mild, and they're still trying to clamp down, then I definitely support even blackmail at that point. Like blackmail, massive civil disobedience. If they're doing this over what's essentially the snivels for most people, that is wrong. Now, that is kind of the narrative of the original CV skeptics from the beginning. Oh, it's just a cold, just a flu. And they weren't correct, but the irony is that they're more correct. They would be correct now, going into 2022, possibly with this new Transformers, the new Gestalt Transformer Decepticon, which I'm using code words for. So it's just like, people are so cowardly nowadays. They're just like, they'll let the courts do things, or lawyers and stuff. It's just like, people have to get on the streets, like Occupy Wall Street. And maybe it didn't go far enough, I mean, there's just gotta be like a massive swell of disobedience towards all these things. I mean, I wish America was like Europe, where they had mass protests of things, or like what's happening in Australia with a lot of the protests. There needs to be massive protests. Now, America is not as bad as these countries at this present time. And obviously there's so much political power and that the so-called right wing has in America that is pushing back against a lot of this. But it's like, I think in the case of like places like Chicago, New York, San Francisco, if these policies continue to be in place, there needs to be massive civil disobedience, massive protests, massive like pranks, like just. I almost last year did a video where I would call like reporting someone for not social distancing. Like I was going to call public health and do it for YouTube. I never did it. But like, it was going to be like my Rufus McDoofus video. My character, Rufus McDoofus, like, he had his girlfriend over. She doesn't live in the household. They're going to find him $1,000. I almost did that. And I probably should have. It would have been pretty funny. But like, it's like these people should just like rise up and do this. They should, instead of being told by their politicians when to protest, they should protest when the people have the power over the politicians and these bureaucrats and these corporate these CEOs and these billionaires. They should be afraid of their people. Government should be afraid of the people, not the other way around. I haven't spent the last 2 years in March of this next year. I haven't spent the last 2 years because I'm afraid of an invisible virus. I'm not afraid of that. I'm a little bit afraid because obviously I'm not the most svelte or youngest person around. But at the same time, I'm more afraid of what results from it. And that's why, because it just gave me this weird, eerie feeling when a lot of the PR came out. And a lot of the divisiveness started from the beginning. And it made me really afraid of what the government will do in the future. And it's not even about the people's health, in my opinion, that what I'm afraid of, because I think people should be able to do what they need to do for their health. And like I said, I think that the does work to some extent, not to stop the spread, obviously. I would be banned from Twitter if I said that now, right? But yeah, I don't believe in this these narratives being pushed, and I think there should be pushback. I'm gonna be pushing back against the mask mandate in this town, more, because it's not okay. You want people to die? You're an asshole. You're a right-wing lunatic. No, I think it's unfair that I can drive. Like, let's say, like, there's a bar that borders the county border. Or not, a bar that's right near the border of the county, and there's a bar that's in the county, I can drive across like maybe a mile or maybe a couple like hundreds of feet away, not have to wear a mask in one county and have to wear a mask in the other county. Does that make sense to anybody? It doesn't. So it has to be pushed back, especially with 95% of people in this county having the jabba dabba do anyways, or 90% or whatever. Also 50% having the boost, which I'm not going to fucking do. But, and they can take, they can take my job. They can take my job. They can take my livelihood. I am not complying to this shit anymore. That is a promise. If I have to move across country to another country or whatever, everything. And I knew that, it's kind of funny talking about that because 3 years ago, I was entertaining moving to Canada. I would have been really pissed off at this point about that. But, I was looking into Canada and stuff, and because I thought America was just like, America's done with this divisiveness and stuff. It's gonna fall. We're on the way to that now, but hopefully, I think there's a certain way that this new variant is a great equalizer, because it's like I said before, I think a lot of people will get it that never expected to get it, and they'll be like, oh my God, I feel so guilty that I got the virus, the MAGA virus. Oh my God. They'll whine on Twitter or on their, Instagram or whatever, Facebook, Boomer Book, as they call it. I mean, I'll be so sad that they caught it and tested positive. Oh my God. And they'll try like double down on the booster thing too. Like, well, I got a booster, otherwise I would have died. Bullshit. If you look at the actual stats. And then, a lot of people will be natural, and another thing they're kind of talking about right now, again, is natural immunity. I'm just like, okay, so it's like I said, it seems like the media goes through these cycles. So like in March, April of this year, natural immunity might be a thing, actually. It's not politically inconvenient or incorrect to talk about anymore because Trump's gone, so we can talk about it now. Then a couple months later, it's like, no, don't talk about that. We got to talk about the VAXX again. No, it's no evidence. Then for a while, oh yeah, there's evidence. And then a month later, no, there's not. And then a month later, the Israeli study comes out. And then there's like pushback. And now we're at that other part where we're talking about it. Because I think a lot of these people, I overestimate the intelligence of people. I overestimate the complicity of people. And that doesn't mean that I don't believe in some of the truth or ideas or anything like that. But like the Atlantic writers, are they all in cahoots with the Great Reset? I don't think so. Them talking about, well, maybe I'm not going to say the word, the transformer. Maybe the transformer will end this thing. They're writing these things. I don't think they've got a call from Klaus Schwab to say, that is the latest narrative to push. We have to confuse them. No, I don't think so. I doubt it. But, who knows, of course. But anything's possible in this world. But it's like, at this point, though, I don't think that these people are... I think this is... I'm gonna posit this before I end this video. There's a great number of people that are tired of this shit. Even the people that were pushing the most nefarious ideas and the most, craziest things. Like at least people, maybe they're clueless, maybe they're useful idiots. Some of the useful idiots, and maybe some even the actual people in the know of whatever this is all about. Some of those people are like, fuck this. I don't like this anymore. Maybe some of them are like that. And then some of the useful idiots are like, yeah, I've got to concede that these people, some of these ideas were right. Like, magical cloth squares versus N95s really don't do shit. All these all these ideas that are coming about, or maybe we need to just move on with our lives. We're gonna have to live with this, or this new variant is not that extreme. I've read 5 studies. I tried to have the cognitive dissonance and saying it's gonna kill a bunch of people, but I just couldn't. There's like 2 people died in this area. I'm like, no, I can't. So I'm gonna write this. I'm sorry. I'm leaving the COVID cult. I'm sorry. but I have to. That's about all.